The chair of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign in the UK. Kamel, you were telling us about Palestinians that you're in touch with. I'm sure there's many, but tell us some of the stories that they're recounting to you.
A lot of the stories are about their families being either killed, members of their families, or being displaced, particularly those who were from northern Gaza. They've had to move several times to what was supposedly to be safe areas. And Israel has made sure that not a single area, including, by the way, Khan Yunis was at one point a place they advised them to go to, and they're unable to get to that. They have no food to speak of. They don't have access to clean water, no medical facilities to go to. They're getting colds. Some of them have been injured, and they need to be treated not just in Gaza, but outside Gaza for the injuries that they have suffered. So it's a catastrophic situation. And I think something to remember from the report from Nizar a minute ago, partway through it, there was a deep sigh that he had, because everyone is thinking, why is this happening and how is it being allowed to continue? It's horrendous.
On the political front, are you in any way more hopeful now of a resolution than you have been previously?
I think from what we hear, first of all, the killings, the slaughter, the destruction has continued even since the ICJ ruling. Israel is on watch because it has to show that it has adhered to the 6 points that the court ruled it must. It will not be in any position to show that it has moved away from its undoubted attempt at genocide of the Palestinian people. All these scenes we've seen just exemplify that. So what I keep hoping for is a ceasefire that anyone can bring about, because until then, Palestinians will continue to die and to suffer. And again, as people are beginning to realize, even when that happens, these people will be without homes and without basic necessities of life for years to come. But let's get a ceasefire done first. And that is why tomorrow in London, we're expecting hundreds of thousands of people to be on our march from the BBC, which is ironic because of the coverage that it provides, to 10 Downing Street, the seat of government, to show that we are in solidarity with the Palestinian people, that we insist on a ceasefire, and that we want an end to the genocide that Israel has embarked on, and that the ICJ said certainly that it was possible that it was committing that horrendous crime.
Let's get your thoughts on specifically the British government, but also the Americans, because both of them are indicating that they might possibly recognize a Palestinian state. But do you think they're actually trying to drive a wedge between the people of Gaza and Hamas? Because both Washington and London are saying that recognition will quite possibly be dependent on Hamas not being in Gaza.
I mean, first of all, Hamas changed its charter in recent years, where it has accepted a Palestinian state would be on the 1967 areas. It doesn't end the desire for Palestine to be recovered, as far as they say. But the issue about recognition, in the UK, there was a vote in 2014 asking the government, this is the British Parliament, to recognize a Palestinian state, any government that comes in, and none of them have. So it was good to hear that there's thinking about that, but they had to say this because of Netanyahu saying there will be no Palestinian state on his watch, rather than because Israel is saying, oh, we accept two states, we don't want this, what happened on...
Let me ask you one more question, because is there any confusion about the possible role of the Palestinian Authority, based, of course, in the occupied West Bank, in terms of any possible peace deal? Will the Palestinian Authority have to become involved?
Well, at the moment, the Palestine Liberation Organization is the representative of the Palestinian people. The PA is an offshoot of that. So it's really the PLO that should oversee both Gaza and the West Bank. If it chooses for it to be through the PA, then there are major changes needed. The current PA has not endeared itself to the Palestinian people in the way that it has acted over the years. So there needs to be some movement, some changes, and indeed I include the leadership that will bring some trust. Walking into Gaza now, the PA will not be, in my view, welcome because it has not done anything to stop the killing of the Palestinian people in Gaza. But the Palestinians want to rule themselves, so they don't want another set of people with UN or Arab states bringing armies in or whatever. There needs to be a quick reconciliation between the various Palestinian parties and that they become ready to rule across Palestine. And at the same time, there has to be a huge pressure on Israel to end what it's doing now and to sit down with the Palestinians and move to a peace situation rather than this continued set of confrontations.
Kamel, thank you so much indeed. And I really have to apologize for the technical problems, because I understand now that I was talking over you, but I couldn't hear you. But we absolutely needed your contribution in this program. Thank you so much indeed.